Hello Algebra 1 students. In today's video I'm going to talk about the discovery activity that you are going to complete for today's assignment. Today's discovery activity is going to get us ready for our lesson tomorrow. So you will notice that I have a Google Doc linked for you and I made a copy for each student, so once you open it you can type right on it. But it's going to look something like this. It's called Graphing Quadratics Patterns Worksheet. So if you notice, if we just read through the directions, and I might kind of do the first one with you, and then I'll let you do the rest for your homework. It says go to desmos.com and hit start graphing. So I have Desmos pulled up. I went to desmos.com. Again, here's that big red start graphing button, and you will click on that. And your screen should look something like this. Let me just extend my window here a little bit so you can see what it looks like. There we go. So you notice there's some boxes over here. This is where you type in your equation to see the graph. One thing with the Desmos graph, I would make sure I zoom in a little bit so that it's going by ones. So notice it goes 0, 1, 2, and so on. So if I go back to the worksheet here, it says using your graphing calculator, graph the following functions. Put number 1 into your first line and number 2 into the second line. They should be graphed in different colors. It says snip the graph and put it in the space provided. Please also indicate which graph is which color. So for 1 and 2 it says graph y equals x squared and graph y equals negative x squared. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to line 1. I'll type in y equals x. To get the exponent, if you just hit this little keyboard down here in the left hand side, that'll pull it up, and then you just hit the a squared button. That'll make it squared. So y equals x squared gives us a nice parabola, which we know quadratics should be a parabola. So perfect. There's the first part. Second part, it says graph y equals negative x squared. So if I just close keyboard down, it looks like y equals negative x squared is down here. So for the assignment, it says snip it. So you got to use your snipping tool and take a little screenshot of this. And it doesn't have to be super big. There, that gives me a good idea. I'm going to come back over here on the Google Doc. Again, you can write right into it. So I'm just going to paste my picture. And that's pretty big, so I'll probably make it a little bit smaller. Doesn't need to be huge. And there it is. Again, here on 1 and 2, I have to say which one is which color. So y equals x squared, that was the first one I graphed, and that's in red. So I just indicate red there. And one thing too, just to help me out, when you're typing stuff in here, if you could do a color other than black so I see what you input, that'd be very helpful. So I put red for that. The color of y equals negative x squared was blue. So again, I'm going to change that color just so it's something other than black. I don't care what color it is as long as I can read it. So for question 3, it says describe in detail how the graphs are similar. So I might put something like, if we just do this part together, I might say, well, they are both parabolas with each vertex at the point 0, 0. Perfect. Describe in detail how the graphs are different. Well, obviously one is opening up and the other one is opening down. So that might be what I write. I might say, well, the graph of the first function opens up, comma, while the graph of the second function opens down. Perfect. So there is the first part, just seeing what the negative out front does to the graph. And we've seen this before, right? When we've done absolute value functions, we know an absolute value function is a v, and we've seen before that when we put a negative out front, remember that v was flipped upside down. Same thing with quadratics, the same rules apply. Y equals x squared, we consider that our parent function. Notice it opens up. If you put the negative out front, it opens down. So I actually did the first 4 questions here for you. Now your homework is going to be to finish this process. So if you notice here, it says clear out your Desmos and then repeat the process for graphs 5, 6, and 8. So it says you should see 3 parabolas on your Desmos graph. So here it says graph the parent function again. So again, I'd go back to Desmos. I'd probably clear these out, although the parent function stays the same. So I'm just going to clear out this other one. And then it says graph y equals x squared plus 3. You'll say what color that is. It says how did the graph move compared to the parent function. And you're also going to graph this one. And it's okay if you have them all graphed on the same screen. Just like you did up here, please make sure you put a picture once you have all 3 of them graphed. Again, you're just going to explain how they're different from y equals x squared. So you're going to say how did they move. So maybe you say they moved up 4, they moved left 4, whatever it might be. Again, it says clear out your Desmos and repeat the process for graphs 11, 12, and 14. So again, you're going to graph 11, 12, and 14. Explain again how they compare to that parent function. For this question, it says, how do you generalize to your friend how to move a quadratic function horizontally or left to right? So you just say, like, how would you move it left to right? That's what it means to generalize. If you're telling somebody that knew nothing about quadratics, how would you tell them you would move the parent function horizontally? Again, for 17, 18, and 20, clear out the graph. You're going to do some more things, see how that parent function is impacted. And then again, just answering all of those questions. So really, you're just doing what we did in these first couple, and you're just repeating that process over and over, describing different transformations that that parent function undergoes. When you're done watching this video, so you get 10 points for finishing off this video, you will go and you will continue to finish this Google Doc that I have linked on Classroom. Once you are done filling everything out, you can just go ahead and close it out. Everything should save automatically and you will hit the turn in button. Hopefully this all makes sense to you. As always, if you have questions, please make sure you email me at storeandflip@gmail.com. Again, this will be due by Saturday at midnight. Have a great rest of your day.